Now, your Storm Tracker 13 forecast first, sponsored by Conway Medical Center.
We are watching some changes in the weekend weather forecast, all thanks to this cold front that is now pushing offshore. That's going to mean some changes in the temperatures, as these are the warmest temperatures we're probably going to see for the next 24 to 48 hours. About 64 in Marion, 68 in Conway, near 70 in Myrtle Beach and in North Myrtle at this time. We're probably not even going to get to 70 tomorrow afternoon. As we take a look at the next 12 hours or so, waking up to 54 along the beaches tomorrow morning, 50 on the dot in the PD. We're going to be in the mid-60s by the middle of the day tomorrow, and then most areas topping out just shy of that 70-degree mark as we head into tomorrow afternoon. We'll have a look at the rest of the week's forecast coming up in just a bit.
Coverage you can count on at 11 starts now.
Good evening to you. I'm Taylor Hernandez.
And I'm Matt Fortin. Thanks for joining us for News 13 at 11's local coverage you can count on.
We begin tonight on the North Strand, where a man is dead after authorities say he was hit early this morning by a Myrtle Beach police cruiser. This wreck happened at about 2:35 this morning on Highway 17, just south of Atlantic Beach. Highway Patrol says the officer was driving the cruiser north on Highway 17, and the pedestrian was crossing the road illegally. The Horry County Coroner's Office identified the man killed as Nicholas Schroyer of Orlando, Florida. A North Myrtle Beach spokesman told News 13 in a statement the officer was not at fault. Of course, count on News 13 for any updates as Highway Patrol investigates.
The Darlington County Coroner's Office has identified the person killed in a shooting yesterday on Dots Circle. The coroner says Dimitri McDaniel died in the shooting. A juvenile was also hurt during this incident. Deputies responded to the area around 6 yesterday morning for calls of shots fired. SLED and the homicide team are investigating. You can count on News 13 for updates on that investigation.
And one person went to the hospital today after a 3-car crash in logs. Horry County Fire Rescue responded about 4 o'clock this afternoon to Highway 905. No word yet on what led up to that crash or how badly that person was hurt. The State Department of Public Safety is investigating. And new at 11 tonight, an area senator says more than $1 million from the General Assembly will help domestic violence survivors in Horry County.
The North Myrtle Beach Women's Club held its first domestic violence awareness walk this morning, and several local and state leaders were there for the announcement. News 13's Melissa Myers shares how that money will be spent.
It's time for us to start speaking out past our homes, speaking out on our abusers. Stop letting them live comfortable. We got to start living comfortable.
The first annual What a Difference a Mile Makes walk. State and local leaders and the North Myrtle Beach community raising money and awareness for domestic violence.
As the world catches on to what we're doing here, we'll make a difference. We will save lives right here in our own community and maybe others.
South Carolina sits in the top 10 worst states for domestic violence. Officials say there's 1.5 times more domestic violence here than the national average. In North Myrtle Beach, 172 cases occurred in 2020, and so far this year, 207 domestic violence cases.
Clearly, it's been a problem for quite a long time, and it's obviously not going away anytime soon. Half of the victims are reluctant to report them.
The closest domestic violence shelter is located in Georgetown, which is out of the way for many victims here in Horry County. However, today, Senator Greg Hembry announced the General Assembly will be giving $1.5 million for the county's first domestic violence shelter.
We are in a position now that we can deliver services we never dreamed of when we started making this ask.
To be able to get one lump sum and really look at a turnkey operation is such a blessing. It's really, it's a real reason for celebration.
Reporting for News 13, I'm Melissa Myers.
Important story there, Melissa. Thank you. Staying in North Myrtle Beach, leaders there will review plans for hundreds of new homes west of the Intracoastal Waterway. That includes plots on the Barefoot Resort, the Grand Dunes North development as well. The city says these are among the last areas that can be developed within North Myrtle Beach city limits.
There's not a lot of large sections of land left in the city to develop. There's a golf course or two, and ultimately, it's anybody's guess, but ultimately those will probably yield to development of some kind. You don't want to clog up everything within the city limits east of the waterway because it's just not capable of handling it.
The Planning Commission will meet at 5 o'clock Tuesday. That meeting is open to the public. You can find more details, including the city's plan to expand public safety services for those developments in this story right now on WBTW.com.
Also coming up this week, a memorial for former Surfside Beach Mayor Doug Samples, who died this week. The memorial service is planned for 11 Monday morning at the Surfside United Methodist Church. Samples became mayor back in 2012 and served until 2016 after being elected to serve on town council back in 2002. The South Carolina House of Representatives honored Samples in 2016 with a resolution recognizing him for improving and maintaining the quality of life. A cause of death has not been officially released yet. And a fire damaged a home today in Darlington County. The American Red Cross said the fire was this afternoon at a home on Air Force Court. Volunteers with the group are now helping 2 people with food, clothing, and shelter after the fire. News 13 reached out to fire officials in the county for more information.
Leaders in the city of Myrtle Beach say they want to hear your concerns or questions about drainage and water quality. The city is hosting a series of meetings this coming week for its watershed master plan. If you go, you'll be able to hear from the city public works department and a consultant the city is working with. If you can't make any of those meetings, though, the city has posted a survey online you can fill out. And if you're a music fan looking for something to do tomorrow, you're in luck. The Myrtle Beach Jazz Festival will continue with several performers on the schedule. The 5th annual festival will wrap up tomorrow with several performers throughout the afternoon and the evening. It's happening at Charlie's Place on Carver Street, and it's free to attend. In addition to music, there are several vendors. The event is meant to celebrate the city's music history and culture with live music and food.
And today was the final day the Myrtle Beach community could enjoy some delicious Greek food at the annual Myrtle Beach Greek Festival. The festival kicked off Thursday at the St. John the Baptist Church and wrapped up today. Due to COVID, the festival was drive-through only for the second time. People went to pick up some of their favorite Greek menu items and, of course, pastries. This year marked the festival's 30th anniversary. And here is some good news for your Saturday. The Horry County Animal Care Center has cleared its shelter today. All the pets on your screen are spending their first night in their forever homes. The county shelter held an event today at Conway Ford where every single adoptable pet went home with a family.
That is the best story of the day, but I got another good story for you right here. A Florence Boy Scout is working towards his Eagle Scout rank by helping children with sensory issues.
Yeah, News 13's Jack Billieu spoke to Callan Kennedy about his Positively Carolina service project.
The first 3 months of quarantine, it was just experimenting with things, trying to find things to help me concentrate more since I was in virtual at that time.
Callan Kennedy was diagnosed with autism in 3K. He says sensory disorders like autism and ADHD can make it hard for students to focus on their schoolwork without moving around.
Most kids will, tap on their desk or stuff like that. I just typically do this. Sometimes I'll do both legs at once.
He eventually found a product that could help him focus, this Kinnabar foot swing.
You use your feet, swing it back and forth. The suction cups here and at the front keep this from moving.
Kennedy's been involved with scouting for 10 years and is close to achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. To earn it, he needed to complete a service project.
It's to show that you're willing to do something and that you're willing to give to the community.
He thought the foot swings would be a good fit for it. Peter Kennedy shared these images of his son working on the project. He raised funds to buy and build 20 of the foot swings to donate to local schools, including some of the ones he attended. Kinnabar even gave him a discount when he told the owner what his purchase was for.
The reaction that we got from these teachers in the prison was like, wow, he said, we had no idea it was something like this.
They were excited for this. They were ready to see how they would do, see their benefits.
Kellen hopes to earn his Eagle rank by the end of the year. Jack Billieu, News 13.
Jack, thank you so much. Well, Palmetto State emergency managers want to make sure you are ready in case an earthquake strikes. That's why all South Carolina will observe Earthquake Preparedness Week. That actually starts tomorrow. The state's emergency management division encourages everyone to use this time to learn about the state's seismic fault system, as well as how to best prepare for earthquakes. Thursday, more than 1 million people in 8 states and Washington, D.C. will take part in a drill called the Great Southeast Shakeout. That's part of an international effort to encourage people to practice staying safe during earthquakes.
And tracking COVID for you now, these are the latest case counts from DHEC. Just under 1,000 new COVID cases in South Carolina were reported yesterday. It also confirmed 106 more COVID deaths, including 5 in Horry County, 2 in Florence County, and 1 each in Darlington and Marion counties. And health officials reported nearly 3,200 new COVID cases yesterday in North Carolina.
Being a cop today is one hell of a lot harder than it's ever been. 2020 was the deadliest year.
President Biden speaking today at the 40th annual Peace Officer Memorial Service in front of the U.S. Capitol. Nearly 500 officers who died in the line of duty during 2019 and 2020 were honored today. During his speech, Biden said community policing is important, as is getting more help to departments across the country.
Also this week, Corporal Michael Ambrosino from the Horry County Police Department was added to the National Law Enforcement Memorial up there in D.C. The longtime Horry County officer died from coronavirus in August of 2020. Coming up after the break, we'll head to Washington, D.C. for the latest on President Biden's human infrastructure push.
You're watching News 13 at 11. Stay with us for more coverage you can count on. We will be right back.